Okay. So you always saw that it was integral number that's being lost or that's being gained. That's why we say it's integral multiple of number of electrons. Okay. I'm just clearing the screen so that you can see the other things clearly. So proton has a positive 1.6 times 10 power negative 19 and electron has a negative 1.6 times 10 power negative 19. Now these were the properties also which we discussed: additive, quantized and conserved. Let me quickly give you a recap of that. If this is an isolated system, let's say that this thing that I've drawn here is an isolated system. There is one charge of magnitude 2 microcoulombs. Another charge is there over here, 3 microcoulombs. Okay, this is all isolated. I'm saying charge is additive in nature. What is the meaning of additive? If I want to draw the total charge, I will just draw. This is a set of 5 microcoulomb. Q1 and Q2 get added to give us total charge of 5 microcoulomb. Suppose there is another system. I'm giving Q1 of 1 microcoulomb, Q2 of 7 microcoulomb, Q3 of minus 2 microcoulomb. Totally you're saying there is 6 microcoulomb over here because you're adding. Actual addition is being, algebraic addition is being done. Why algebraic addition is being done? Because charge is a scalar quantity. If any quantity is a vector quantity, you cannot go for algebraic addition. You will have to go for vector addition, which will obey vector law. Vector addition and all will be discussed to you this year. So it's a different way. Triangle approach, parallelogram approach, those all ways are there. Okay. So understand that this is how we are saying that charge has additivity. So total net charge will be equal to sum of all the charges. Right? Charge is always quantized. We just now discussed Q always N into E. This was explaining charge being quantized. Right? Charge is always conserved. Somebody's microphone, please turn it off. Anish, it is your microphone which is on. Right. Charge is always conserved. What is meaning of conservation of charges? I will again go back to this example. Please look at this one. So what's happening is this is an isolated system. Isolated means these charges can interact with the charges that are inside the system only. You can't interact with the charges from outside. Neither these charges go outside. I'm saying outside charges can't enter, neither can these interact with outside. So only thing is you have to interact with the charges which are inside that particular system. So this 2 microcoulomb can gain or lose charges to 3 microcoulomb. Let's assume that it is giving 1 microcoulomb charge to the other one. So now the new situation looks like this. 2 microcoulomb gave off 1 microcoulomb. So now it's having only 1, and this is 4 microcoulomb. What I understood over here, what you should understand over here is, this is a Q1, this is a Q2. Whatever decrease in charge was observed in Q1 is the same increase in charge that is observed in Q2. Meaning to say that charge is transferred from one body to another, but it is created, not destroyed. Meaning to say it is conserved. Clear? These 3 points we had discussed, guys. Make a note. If you don't have idea, make a note. Once look at this, we had discussed already. Let me just drink some water. Look at all the points quickly, guys. The last 3 points are very important. I had discussed then only. I told you then itself that they are very important. They are being asked as multiple choice question. What type of field is produced when charge is at rest? Electric field. What type of field is produced when charge is in unaccelerated motion? Unaccelerated meaning velocity is constant. Acceleration 0. It produces even magnetic field along with electric field. What type of field is produced when it's in accelerated motion? Not only electric and magnetic, even electromagnetic radiation. Clear, guys? Make a note of this and this. Charge in rest produces electric field. This entire chapter we are going to discuss this only. Current electricity, we'll talk about electric field and magnetic field. This one you will talk about it in engineering. Nothing to do with this one in even 11 and 12, so not to worry, but make a note of it. Knowing it is no harm, right? You can see that clearly, like charges are attracting. Both of these are like charges, repelling each other. The inherent property of a negative charge is that the field lines or the force lines are towards the center. Please see this diagram and see this diagram. The inherent property of a positive charged body is that the field lines are away from the center, towards the center for a negative, away from the center for the positive charge. Moving further, charging methods also we have discussed. Charging can be done by friction. Oh, 1 second. Charging can be done either by friction or by induction. Actually, many ways we can do. I have taught you specifically friction and induction. So when we are telling friction, means rubbing action is happening. Suppose amber is rubbed with wool. One of them is losing electrons, one of them is gaining electrons, and they are becoming electrically charged. Right, guys? Why is this gaining or losing of electrons happening? Is because friction is some kind of energy, right? Is being developed. That energy is being utilized so that the valence electrons are being lost or gained by anybody. One is losing, one is gaining. The one who lost electrons became positively charged, one who gained electrons became negatively charged. You can see the different examples. And I have told you that there is electroscope and there is triboelectric series, both of which can tell. Actually, electroscope can't tell whether it's positive or negative, but triboelectric series can tell which body becomes positively charged, which body is negative. Electroscope can just tell that this is a charged body or not. Just write this also. Electroscope only what do you say, judges or detects charge. This even detects which type of charge. Not only charged body, it even talks about the type of charge, namely positive or negative. The elements or the whatever in the triboelectric series, whoever is in the top of the series, those are positively charged. Whoever is in the lower end of the series, those are negatively charged. Induction means bringing one type of charged body close to another body. Then based on that principle, see for example, let's move to the next slide. Yeah. So we have an ebonite rod, negatively charged ebonite rod, which is brought close to a neutral metallic sphere. This sphere was actually neutral in charge. So now what happened, because of me bringing this ebonite rod close to this neutrally charged sphere, positive charges were developed on the nearer end of it. I'm repeating. Because you got ebonite rod close to this neutral sphere, this is negative, right? Which negative will attract positive or negative? Obviously negative will attract unlike charge, that is positive. Positive charges are developed on the nearer surface, and on the farther surface negative charges are developed. Okay, now suppose I try to ground this sphere. See, grounding is done. Grounding, what it does, the charges that are there over here are depleted to the ground or are sent away to the ground. Once they are sent away to the ground, and if I unplug this grounding cable, and if I remove the ebonite rod as well, I will get a uniformly charged positive sphere. Same is the case with negative. See here, I created polarization. I created polarization with the help of induction principle. Polarization means polarity. One positively charged body I created and one negatively charged body I created. Just using induction. Is it clear? If you have doubt, make a note. Okay. This one also we had discussed. Two neutral spheres are kept in. I'm just going to read you through those diagrams. If you want, you can read on the other side also. So anyway, two neutrals. Okay. One second. Okay. Two neutral spheres, maybe say A and B, are kept in contact with each other. I bought a plastic rod. Plastic rod is positively charged. Ebonite rod is negatively charged. Remember at least one, so you will not get confused. Okay, don't worry. Don't worry, don't worry. Yes, this is new to me also. I will from fourth slide. Okay, cool. Okay, I was not understanding, so okay, guys. So I was speaking simply. Okay. Okay, fine. Don't worry, the recording will be uploaded. You can see that. I will explain directly the new thing today. Already we had discussed Coulomb's law, guys. Okay, one second. I will discuss it again. Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law is similar to the law of gravitation that you have. What is the law of gravitation? Force is directly proportional to the product of masses, whereas here force is proportional to the product of charges. Right, guys? Force was proportional to the square of the distance, inversely proportional to square of the distance. Here also force is proportional to the square of the distance. Now see, guys, if I combine these two relations, F is proportional to Q1 Q2 over R square. I can rewrite it as K Q1 Q2 over R square. Okay. So now this one, I think some of you have my number. You could have messaged me. No. Okay. Anyway, never mind. K equals 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Make a note, guys. Force is proportional to Q1 Q2 by R square. I can introduce proportionality constant. The proportionality constant over here is K, whereas in gravitation it was G. Okay, here it is K, 6.667 10 power minus 11. Here K is 9 into 10 power 9. This value can be calculated as 9 into 10 power 9. How you calculate is 4 you know, pi you know, epsilon naught is 8.854 10 power minus 12. Epsilon naught is called as permittivity of free space. Permittivity of free space means allowance capacity, allowance of what? Field lines to flow. So you must understand that this specifically is talking only of free space or of vacuum. Again, Rashmi is raising a now every time you raise your hand, I'm going to think I have gone off. I have asked sir to. So if you can't hear, I will just assign it. Adhyaksh, if you can, I will give you the response. If you can't hear, you will have to tell. You have to raise your hand. Only you raising your hand will allow me to understand that you can't hear. Otherwise, no one else I will be focusing. One person we should assign, no? So anyway, here guys, K is 9 times 10 power 9. We had already discussed this in the last class. Now, electric field. This is the new topic, so don't miss this one. Today's topic, I only focus on electric field. Okay. You know that suppose I have an electron in space, electron or any charge, any proton or electron, if I have, I will say that it has some charge. What I'm saying, it has some charge. This word I'm using. What we mean by charge is it's an inherent property of either electron